Welcome back to the Rest is F1 podcast. Today we are talking about the Brazilian Grand Prix, or the Sao Paulo Grand Prix of 2025. I'm your host, Shaq, as usual, and I've got Ham with me. How are we, Ham?
Hey Shaq, hey guys, been good. Another race done, and we've got three more in the calendar. But then, what a race it was! Thought it was going to be a bit more interesting, bit more what do you call it, rainy, or but then, it didn't disappoint. It did not disappoint. Got some amazing drives. Max Verstappen drive. I think that's the drive of the season
I
by
would put it
Max.
up
I
there,
think
yeah.
when you think about all the drivers on track, I think that's the best drive of the season.
Yeah.
We've got Kimi's best finish of the season.
Yep. Yep. Lots
Yeah,
to dive into.
yeah, a lot to drive into, and let's get on to it.
All right. Well, you mentioned Max, you mentioned Kimi, but we'll start with the new, or not new last race, but the current World Championship leader, Lando Norris, has gone to Brazil and he's taken the win and the sprint win. He was on pole, he was first in practice, and he was first in both qualifyings as well. I mean, perfect weekend, really. I mean, apart from maybe the pace at the end, would we say perfect from Lando?
Uh, yeah, close to perfect. Yes, he had a really good sprint qualifying, a sprint race. It's a solid week for Lando. He didn't have much of a hassle. It went smooth. He had the pace in the car. He was phenomenal, and no mistakes.
Yeah.
Lando with no
Yeah.
mistakes is, second half of the season, he's just come alive, and I think his car has come alive as well. So that's a beautiful drive by Lando. And I did notice one of the things that he has. So, do you know that there is a visual you can see how you're performing with the car and how the car behind you, how fast they are, and how many seconds
Yeah.
behind that is?
Yeah.
So, apparently, he's turned that particular signage off. I do not know what you call that, but then he's turned it off, is what they say.
Mhm.
And it's because he gets really frustrated, or he gets really anxious when you see that,
When you've seen the
because
time change, yeah.
yeah, when you see the time, the I think he gets frustrated when the radio when his engineer says, we've got cars coming behind, and he sees that, and he gets frustrated and he gets anxious after that. I think that's the reason why he said that's the reason why he's turned that off, particular setting, so that he can focus only on the race. And he knows, he has his sector timings. Apart from that, he doesn't have anything, is what they
Yeah.
claim these days. But then I think that has helped him improve quite a bit from the way he used to drive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, what he's doing is clearly working. It's been 6 races after, no, after Piastri last one, and or maybe it's no, 6 races. Yeah, 6 races since the Dutch Grand Prix, and Lando has just flicked the switch. He has purely been a different beast compared to the way he was driving at the start, like you said. So yeah, it's good that he's doing things. He's making those changes. I mean, I personally, when I'm playing a racing game, if I see the time changing, that can make me anxious, you know. So I understand where that comes from. But this race sort of felt like, again, like apart from maybe the end where it seemed like maybe Max could catch Lando, which obviously didn't happen at the end. It just the way the tires go and stuff.
Shaq, to be honest, He could have caught, but then I would say what a defensive drive by Kimi. I mean,
Yeah,
a
yeah, but
rookie.
also
Kimi is a rookie. He had Verstappen on his tail for almost 2.5, 3 laps, which is more than enough for Verstappen to overtake somebody. And
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
as soon as Verstappen is on the tail of a person, he would get him.
yeah,
He would get him. But then I've got to give it to Kimi for keeping calm, driving like he's supposed to. He wasn't pressurized at all. I mean that was one drive that we've got to give it to Kimi for that. Honestly, we've got to give it to
yeah,
Kimi. I mean,
yeah,
any driver, when they've got somebody behind them and we can see the car in the mirror, you would be hesitant to do things, to block him off. That's when you try blocking him off, that's when you get more in trouble. You may lock up. I mean, and Kimi did lock up in between, but
yeah,
then he recovered beautifully from that situation. So, I mean, when talking about Max, I just have to give credits to Kimi for holding him back in the last couple of laps.
yeah.
And I mean, the best finish of his career as well.
Of his career, of the season, everything. So, no, yeah, exactly. Props to Kimi. Awesome job. Rookie to get P2. I know he has actually broken the record for the most points scored by a rookie in a season, but obviously we have to consider the fact that points are much higher now. You get
Much higher,
yeah,
and a lot of races in a season.
and there's a lot of
I
races in the
mean,
season.
yeah,
So
apart from the 24 races, they've got a couple of sprints as well. So, I mean, that's a massive difference, but then a record is a record.
a record is a record, and he's
Yeah,
done well. So
he's done really
he
well,
can only
yes.
beat what's in front of him, right? So
Exactly, yes,
yeah,
exactly, yes.
so awesome job
But then
from
I think nowadays what they do is they write it on the side. So they would have the previous record holder. So I think that is Lewis is the
yes,
previous
yeah,
record holder. Yes, and
2007, yeah.
yes, and we would have Kimi. So it would be like old regulations, and Kimi would be under new regulations. Is what they're gonna new point regulation, old
Yeah,
point
yeah.
regulation. Yeah, exactly.
On
Because those
on
are
the
two different
technicality,
records.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
on the
that
technicality, it's
yes.
Kimi right now. So,
Exactly, yes. I mean,
but I
that's a
know
massive
if
record.
you,
That's a massive record as well.
it's a huge record. I just know that if you do convert Lewis's 2007 score, he gets up to like 240 points or something like that because he was winning. He won like 3 or 4 races that year.
Yeah.
So that's obviously there.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
I mean, I
again,
mean, I mean,
nothing to
I
take
think.
away from Kimi.
But then, is there any other rookie who's won races? Max has won it, yeah, in his first season.
No, he won it in his first full season, not his first half season, which is what he did 2015, I think.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
similar to Lawson, but then Lawson still hasn't won it.
yeah, Lawson's not been near the podium, so
Yeah,
nothing to
yeah,
talk
makes
about
sense.
there.
Yes,
If
yeah.
I'm thinking about it, no, I don't think many rookies have won in their first year. Mainly because they don't get the opportunity to jump into a good car straight away. They are usually have to jump into a lower team car, so they're a bit slower, so they don't really get a shot at winning. But yeah, nothing to take away from Kimi. Brilliant job, P2. So yeah, Norris obviously just in front, all the chaos behind, Kimi in P2, and it was of course Max Verstappen who finished in P3. Man, how does this guy do it? He started from the pit lane and he
Ooh,
finished P3.
dude, honestly, just loved the way he took the car to another level. I mean, dude, pit lane to P3 was amazing. And apparently, if he had gotten to P2, he would have created a record where no other driver has achieved. Pit lane to P2. Nobody has ever done that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they were saying it over the
No one has ever won
commentary.
either. That's there as
No
well.
one, yeah, no one has either won.
I
So
think
the
pit lane to the podium was what, maybe 3 times before this, something like that.
yeah, yes, yes. I think pit lane. I mean, back then yeah, I think it's only been Max who's been
Yeah,
doing that.
it might have been. probably like a Lewis in prime Mercedes and Schumacher in prime
Yeah,
Ferrari, something like
but
that.
then I
Yeah.
think even Lewis, from the back of the grid, he went to during qualifying. I think during the race weekend. I mean, during the sprint race weekend. I mean, that's massive from P20 to P5. I mean,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think
That was a different.
that
Yeah, that was a different one.
he's done that within 15 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that
have
was, you can never compare those, but then I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. It's always difficult
I
to
would
compare.
still say Max Verstappen's pit lane to P3 is better than his win from last year.
You would okay,
Because
that's a bold claim. That was actually the
yeah,
question I was just about to ask you.
you know why? You know why? In that particular race, it was
Yeah.
raining. There a lot of strategies played in that race, where a lot of cars just goes off and everything. But in this one, it was purely pace. He was overtaking cars, pure pace,
I
pure driving skills.
yeah, okay, all right. So I
He just flew past every cars over there. So
yeah, yeah.
see, last year, don't get me wrong, that was a beautiful race. I mean, but then that time there were cars. I mean, every car, every other car had issues because it was raining. They were slow. A lot of calls were
Yeah.
done at the wrong time. But then this one, you can never blame somebody. It was a dry race,
Yeah, but
sunny day.
I will say, right, okay, so the difference I would say
It's no. One
one
more
thing
thing.
I need to say,
It's a
okay, no,
fair
no.
advantage. Fair advantage to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So that's there. This one, there's zero tire advantage, right? But this one, oh, sorry, last year's one, that was zero tire advantage. That's like everyone's on inters and wets and stuff. Max, I remember F1 put out an Instagram post after the race, and it was his lap times, and they were all within like a second, half a second for like 30 laps straight. He just does the same lap time over and over again in the wet conditions. If you're, and he's pushing, right? Because he's gapped the Alpines by 20 seconds. That gap he's gained, he's not made a single mistake. He's not locking up, not sliding around, and he's just doing consistent laps in the wet. And the fact that other people are just flying all over the place, struggling to overtake, and this guy's just flying off into the distance. That's what I think. I would just for me, I would disagree. I think the P17 to P1 last year is maybe the greatest drive of all time. And I think it's better than
No,
this
no,
one.
no. I still prefer Max's pit lane start to P3 over this. I mean, it's similar, but then see, from P17, he was on the grid with rest of the cars.
Yes, yes, but it's
This
wet
one,
and dry is different circumstance.
he had to wait for the whole cars to go ahead. Then that's when he starts from the pit lane. So
Yeah,
imagine,
yeah, yeah. We can look.
I
We can
mean,
argue about this all day, but
yes, yeah,
yeah. But
actually,
at the end of
to
the
me,
day, he's
this
just a
is
great
Max's
driver,
best.
and
Exactly, yeah,
Brazil is clearly just a strong suit for this guy. I mean, most
yeah.
tracks are. Um,
I
and
mean,
also
Brazil,
one
he's just
other.
proving himself that he
Yes,
is the best.
yes, literally, yeah. And one other thing that I've seen, like a little stat I saw about Max, he has got the most different places, different starting places on the grid to a podium in like I think history. He's done like
Yeah.
P1 all the way down to P10. He's got on the podium from all of the top 10 positions. Then like it's P14, P15, P16, P17, and it just keeps going.
I do
And he's
remember
added pit
looking
lane
at.
to that.
Yeah, I was looking at some of those datas a couple of months ago. I mean, there were still a couple of positions he still had left to reach to
Yeah, yeah,
P1.
little gaps in
Yeah,
between. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's how good this
I think
guy
that
is.
is I think that is Max's goal rather than winning 7 or 8 world championship drivers championship. Like
Maybe.
I want to win from every position of the race.
He's just that
I mean,
good. Yeah.
but then one thing, it was sad to see him getting knocked out on pure pace
This is the first time in
in
his career.
first in Q1. So
Yeah.
I
First time
mean,
being knocked out
I
in
think
Q1.
I think that is the reason why they've changed the setup, brought in a new engine and stuff.
Yeah,
Or unit, yeah,
once you're in the bottom five, you go for it, right? So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
there's nothing much to lose from there.
Yeah. All right, so that is Max and Norris, and the last championship protagonist, the man who was leading for so long, Oscar Piastri, started P4, finished P5. Really not a great drive. Not a horrible drive, we'll give him that at the least, but he is now 24 points behind Lando because he also DNF'd in the sprint. And I want to start off by saying the lap one, or not lap one, the safety car restart. Who do you think was at fault? I know Piastri comes down the inside.
One thing, Kimi was caught sleeping. That's for sure.
Yeah,
He had a really bad reaction time. But then, I mean, it's racing. You've got to give room. You've got to give racing line to other drivers as well. So I think Kimi may have, or not may have, he definitely did close in on Piastri's line, where in which Piastri couldn't do much to that. He did lock up as, but
he can't
okay,
do
yeah, Piastri
anything.
did
Yeah,
lock up. Yeah, Piastri did lock up, but then Piastri can't do anything. So I think it was a bit unfair to give Piastri a 10-second penalty, and rather than, I don't want to say Kimi had a bad drive. He should not be reserving the P2. But then that particular incident, I would say Kimi was at fault because of that, Leclerc crashed in as well. So
I would
could
say
you?
that they were both at fault, Piastri and
I mean, yeah,
Antonelli.
Piastri
About the
is
same.
at fault, but then what can Piastri do if there is no racing line? He did break. He did lock up. I mean, that's
Yeah,
all he can do.
yeah. It
I
just
mean,
looks bad because
when somebody covers you, there's nothing you can do. I mean, he's got no space to go. So I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Kimi could have avoided that. But I wouldn't say Oscar was at fault. Oscar was racing. Yeah,
yeah.
if you
So
break, if you move out from that, if you bail out from a corner, then why else you're racing? I mean,
yeah.
that's how you challenge. So,
No, so
uh,
the like thing initiating the penalty is the fact he locked up. If he didn't lock up, it would have looked a lot better, and there would have been almost zero reason for the FIA to give a penalty.
if he hadn't locked up, I think he'd have taken out Kimi as well.
Yeah, but like locking up, that's where they go. Oh, he's locked up.
what
He's
else?
stuffed up.
What
So
else? Come on, FIA has seen
no, look,
thousands of
FIA's had
races.
some nightmares recently, right?
Yeah,
They've been
yeah.
making some poor decisions, like Hamilton in
Ex-
Mexico, and
exactly.
obviously his career
At
as
least
well.
they could have said, okay, if they wanted to give a penalty, they should have given Kimi. He could have given at least a 5-second penalty. If not, they could have ruled it out as a racing incident because it was clearly right after a
So
restart.
I think another thing that they were thinking about is like,
They've
Piastri's
taken out
gone
a
for
car.
this move, right? No, Piastri's gone for this move. Antonelli's made a little sort of reactive move to
He went to
that
defend it. Yeah,
overtake, right? But Leclerc is the one coming out, paying the price. And I
yeah,
think
because he was on
that
the
they've
outside.
tried to,
He would have least expected a car coming from the
yeah,
side.
exactly. So they're kind of trying, I feel like they're trying to push away these kind of problems from happening. But it's racing, it's gonna happen. They can't exactly control how things are gonna happen.
Yeah,
And one
if
thing I
not,
will
they should. I
say,
think
one thing I will
if not, they
say,
should create. Yeah,
Leclerc himself said in his post-race interview, he said that it is 50-50% on whose fault it was. He reckons it's 50-50. We can't just give it all to Oscar because, he has to go for a move. He's fighting for a championship. And Antonelli has
yeah. But I
kind
would
of
say
gone a little bit too
50%.
much to the left. So
Yeah, but then I would say 50% Oscar's fault because he went in for the risky move. But then,
yes, yeah.
but then Leclerc did mention Kimi could have avoided that if he
Yeah.
had
If
not covered Oscar's racing line.
the best way to put it is if when you look at it, Kimi has the most control of what happens in that outcome because he's in the
Yes.
middle. He
Yep.
dictates what both cars have to do, pretty much. So,
I think Oscar wouldn't have gone ahead of Kimi even if there were if even if he had crashed into Kimi. Even hadn't
yeah,
crashed into Kimi.
even if
I mean,
Kimi
that
moved
was
a
too
bit
tight.
more
Yeah,
over,
yeah, because the corner was a bit too tight for Oscar to get ahead.
yeah, yeah,
It would have left Kim in a vulnerable position with Leclerc on the other side, but then Lando, I mean Piastri couldn't have gone forward, is what I think.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about Ferrari and then we'll talk about Mercedes. But we'll start with Ferrari. So yeah, Leclerc obviously very unlucky DNF. Honestly, you can't. Nothing. He did
You can,
nothing
you can,
wrong.
he did
Right.
nothing. He was just a victim in that.
Yeah, and then there's the other side, Lewis Hamilton. He picked up damage because he was following
Mm,
Colapinto much too close. He had a little bang with sides at the start as well.
yeah,
And yeah, and he
I mean,
qualified too low as well. He
yeah,
qualified too
certain.
low. When you qualify so far back, you're gonna get in those tangles that you don't want to be in. So
Exactly.
yeah,
As an experienced driver, you should not be facing these issues. I mean, these are mistakes you can expect from, or rookies or young drivers, not from an experienced driver like Lewis, who normally dominates a track like Sao Paulo.
hmm,
So, that was clearly his mistake, where you could see how he was moving to go in for the overtake, go in for the kill, but too close. And he picked up flow damage because his wing broke, obviously, and had a really bad flow damage. And he had a 10-second penalty because he crashed into Colapinto. So the reason why he stayed outside for that long with a shitty car and with a flow damage was because he had to serve a penalty. So they were just waiting out for the penalty to come in. He served a 10-second penalty, then they retired the car eventually. So that cost Ferrari huge in Brazil because they have gone down by 2 places. They're in fact below
they're gone
Red
down by
Bull.
one.
Yeah, Mercedes have gone ahead, Red Bull have gone ahead,
Yeah,
and yeah. So I think that
even Red
costed a
Bull
lot.
taken over. Yeah,
Yeah.
even
So
Red Bull. That's a big
yeah.
thing.
So yeah. So I think even the president of Ferrari has come up and said drivers should talk less and do more of racing because clearly the pit crews and the engineers are doing a fantastic job. I think the drivers should stop talking and they should drive. So I think that's a bit too forward of the president to say that because
I
drivers are
mean,
putting
what
in the
can the
effort.
drivers do though?
Yeah, but
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah,
only so
yeah. I
much they
mean,
can do. They're driving a literal
exactly.
tractor. Like it's literally a
Exactly.
tractor.
Exactly. I think I think it's a bit too I would forward, or I think it's a wrongful way to say things like that by a president of the whole company to do that. He was comparing them with the other championship winning. Championships they Ferraris participate in, and they were comparing that with Formula One,
Yeah, look,
which you should
at the
not
end
be.
of the day, you can only look at the engineering side. There's only so much a driver can do. So I don't really
Exactly.
see that.
Yeah. The season is bad. At least they're fighting. There've been incidents or times when the engineers and the pit crew used to mess up the whole thing.
Yeah, so at least,
So
yeah. But
yeah,
they'd rather
yeah,
have a nicer car, a good car, right? So, because at least then they
exactly.
can fight for a win or a podium. I mean, they've got
I'm
seven
surprised how
podiums this
Leclerc
year.
is pushing that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
that
now.
shows how good he is because
Yeah.
it would be so hard to do that if you were
Exactly. We
anyone
can
else.
see how Lewis is struggling in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Ferrari's nightmare. They need to, at the very least, they need to get a P3 in this constructors. They cannot finish outside the top three. I don't know how they're going
Exactly.
to do that. Yeah. With a
And we've
Red
got
Bull
him.
team that only relies on one driver to score points, and then you lose to them, that makes you look bad.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah. And we've got to give it to Ollie Behrman. I mean, what a drive and
yeah,
has.
well, let's give it to all of the midfield drivers. So
Yeah, I mean,
Behrman
solid
finished
drive, solid drive.
P6, Lawson finished P7, Hadjar P8, Hulkenberg P9, and Gasly even P10.
Yeah.
That's four different constructors finishing in the bottom half
I mean
of the
that
top 10.
this is how we want to see racing. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
apart from the top teams, you want to see the mid-level teams scoring points. I mean, there are mid-level fights. Got to see that as well. So that's massive. That's massive.
yeah. And the way the championship looks for like the drivers and the teams as well, the constructors like Haas have gone flying up because of Behrman, but now Haas are closing in on Aston, who haven't really done well for a few weeks now.
Yeah.
And Sauber is kind of falling back a little bit because they're kind of relying on Hulkenberg. Bortoleto didn't have a great race today. And Racing Bulls, I would say, are probably the only really consistent one. They've been there almost every weekend. And
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so yeah, it's really good to see the midfields scoring points. And even Gasly, like Alpine haven't scored points in, ages, and they've got this one. So yeah. Let's look at the last thing, and that is the Drivers' Championship. Who, I mean, look, we talked about before the race who's got the momentum, who will get, if, sorry, the best person who does the best in Sao Paulo, would they get the momentum and probably win the championship? And you said yes.
Yep. See, I think that kind of proves it. You see how far ahead Lando is now. I mean,
Yep.
Oscar has been underperforming ever since the second half of the season. So I think it's pretty much sealed. I think
I think, yeah.
the first thing that's for sure. Max has no chance of getting to P1. He might get P2 if Oscar keeps performing like this.
Yeah.
But then I think the drivers' championship is pretty much sealed.
Yeah.
It's for Lando Norris. He is gonna win his first drivers' championship this
Yeah.
season.
And yeah, it's Lando's to lose, but it's a bit of a shame that Oscar's kind of left the fight the way he has. He's sort of just bottled it completely. He was like 35 points in front, now he's 24 behind. So that's almost a 60-point swing. So yeah, I don't get to have the suspense of asking you who do you think who's gonna win anymore, because I think it's pretty done now.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty much
Lando
sealed out
DNS,
now.
right? Lando has to
Yeah,
DNF and Oscar has to
unless
win.
I mean, three more races. If Lando has a bad race, I think they're back at it again.
I'll ask
Let's
you.
see.
Yeah,
I
I'll ask
mean,
you.
I think every single race towards the end, I think it's a question to be asked. But then,
Yeah, yeah.
if
I'll ask
I
a
mean,
a different question. Do you
yeah,
think Piastri will win one more race this year?
I doubt it now. I doubt it because he had a really good chance this race, and okay, apart from the 10-second penalty, he still didn't prove much. You could see how Lando was pulling ahead even when he was in P2. So I doubt he is going to win anything unless and until he gets back the momentum or the performance that he had in the first half of the season. If he brings that back, then we could see Oscar winning. And
Yeah,
if that happens, then Lando will have to look uh, at Piastri because he might catch up at the end of the
yeah.
season.
No, but for Oscar to win, he's got to be perfect. He's got to win all three races and the sprint, and Lando's got to
Then,
miss out on the top three like once, I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah.
yep, we'll let fate do its thing. But that is it for now. Until then, we will see you guys for the Las Vegas predictions. Bye bye, guys.
See you guys, and do like, share, subscribe.